It's Sunday, the 17th of September 2017. I wanted to talk about Silver Lake Resources. A few people have asked me about this one. I do hold the stock. It's been going sideways now for almost 4 months, more than 4 months. Had a bit of a breakdown of sort of this little range on Friday. If anyone who's watched these videos before knows that I've had a focus on the GDXJ ETF, the junior gold mining ETF, and these volume spikes tend to correspond with GDXJ rebalance events. So you can see here, third Friday every 3 months you get them. This one here was another, I think was also related to the GDXJ recomposition that happened in April, May, all the speculation about that recomposition. But something that's stood out in the last few months with Silver Lake and a couple of the other small gold mining stocks like Ramelius is an absolute sort of drop off in volume at a time when you'd expect the share prices to do quite well and volume to pick up. So the start of 2016 was obviously a good period in terms of volume and interest in some of these junior gold miners as they started to make more money as the gold price went up, obviously. And now, even though we've gone up over 1,300 in August and September, there hasn't been a lot of interest, and Silver Lake's actually below, obviously, where it was a few months ago. It did come back a little bit and it's closed even, I think, on the day on Friday. But I think that the recomposition event that happened with the GDXJ in June, that's really had an effect on, and there's been a lack of volume, and there's been no one else sort of willing to step up and assume that role of the buyer at the margin, which is what the GDXJ has been for a number of years in these gold mining stocks. Silver Lake has a few issues with mine life, but it does have very good cash flow generation at the moment, and that's why I bought a few more shares at 41.5 on Friday. It's technically not looking great, but I'm fairly confident this range will probably hold just on a valuation basis. I think the stock is undervalued relative to some of its peers, and I think it's probably a good entry point. Obviously, this has been I've done a few videos on the stock before. I first purchased this at $3 in about 2012, I think maybe 2013, and ever since then it never saw that level again. And I've traded a few times on the way back up, but I'm deeply skeptical of this company. The only reason I hold it at the moment is I think it's got good cash flow generation, as I said, and that's what I look for in gold miners. They've got, I think they're probably going to be producing about 135,000 ounces this year. Costs probably around that 1,200, 1,250 region, maybe a little bit higher. But the cash flow, the operating margin seems to hit the bottom line, and the cash balance does seem to be building. I think they're up to about $75 million now with some of the asset sales as well. So they've got a decent cash balance and steady production for the next few quarters, from what I can tell. But as I said, you've got to be really careful with this company. I don't trust anything they do, but I think it's in a reasonable position at the moment.